What's up everyone, this is Kay, and the 4-piece Heart of Depth, aka Hydro set, is in my opinion the best build for a burst DPS Childe playstyle, which is basically his role in the game. This review will be on his individual damage output with no buffs from his teams or food, since I want to give you the best representation of what this build can do for him. Starting with his stats, my attack is on the lower side because all the substats went into defense, as you can see, with over 1100, which sucks because you're using Childe for like 30 seconds then swap him out for your other DPS or support, so defense is alright, but not the main thing you want. Crit rate, crit damage is pretty good. 50% crit rate is, in my opinion, the bare minimum for a crit build, so 60% for me is quite solid. Obviously, the more you have, the better. 151% for damage is average, not too low and not too high. I do have a Hydro artifact, combined with the 15% bonus, it's around 90%. For artifacts, it's of course the 4-piece Heart of Depth, which gives Hydro bonus and 30% damage buff for his normal and charge attacks. His build is similar to others, focused on crit rate and damage for substats. Thankfully, majority of my stats have both. For main stats, go with attack for sands, Hydro for goblet, and crit damage for circuits. As you can see, I have a lot of defense, which again sucks. Had like 2 defense increase on 1 artifact, so I was pissed when that happened, but at least when he's out, I don't really have to worry about him dying too fast or too much, I guess. So my previous build was a 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Nobilis. It had similar substats and the same main stats, attack, Hydro, and crit damage, but my overall attack was higher on my old build. Everything else is the same. Viridescent Bow is the weapon, and talents are 688. Only the sets are the difference. Now, this set is specifically made for Childe. Every time you switch stance, it'll give him a 30% buff. Yes, this includes switching back to his bow stance after his melee, meaning once his 15 seconds are up, you can instantly gain the buff again by switching back to his bow and do a couple charge shots for increased damage. This means Childe will receive the 30% damage buff for 30 seconds in total, 15 for his melee, 15 for his bow, and during his bow stance, his melee is on cooldown, meaning by the time his buff ends, you're a couple seconds away from buffing him again when switching back to his melee. I even tested to see if I can prolong the buff, meaning if I waited 10 seconds while the buff was still active, then pressing E to his bow stance will restart the timer, giving me 15 seconds again, so you don't have to wait for the buff to end, nor will it have any reduction in time. Basically, every time you press E, he'll get 15 seconds of increased damage, which is amazing for his burst playstyle. In terms of damage, it's significantly higher for me while the buff is active. When it's not, then it's lower when compared to my previous 2 Glad and 2 Noble set. Childe deals a few hundred more damage with this new set, between 300 to 400 more for charge attacks. With this current build, my level 80 Childe fighting against level 90 enemies will deal about 4993 on his final charge crit. My previous build deals about 4994 on his final charge crit damage. For best damage, I attack 3 times, then charge attack with jump or dash cancel. This takes about 3 seconds to complete, meaning you can complete 5 charge combos by the time the buff ends. Which means if my charge attacks crits, it'll give me 9k damage per combo, not including my 3 previous attacks, which deals about 1k to 1500 on non-crits. If they do crit, then I deal about 2k to 3800 damage per attack, depending on what number attack he's doing, such as his first, second, or third attack, which deals more damage as it progresses. So if you're lucky and land crits on his charge attacks, you can deal about 55,000 in 15 seconds with just his E skill with no additional buffs. I'm throwing an estimate number since crits won't always land. Sometimes I landed around 17k damage for 1 combo, sometimes I landed like 10k, but numbers are high. For his bow charge shots, as a reminder, does get the buff after changing back from his melee, deals about 7500 on crits, 500 more damage from my old set. A few charge shots here and there can do really good damage, honestly. I mean, over 7k for 1 shot isn't something to laugh at, really. Now, there are downsides to building Childe with this set. When he isn't buff, his damage is about 300 damage lower than my old build, so you're literally using Childe just for this buff. Another problem is that his E burst will be a lot weaker since the buff only applies to his normal and charge attacks. I deal around 26k, sometimes lower, like 22k depending on the enemy, and that is with a crit. With my old sets, of course I had the Nobilis, but I easily dealt 33 to 35k on his E burst if I crit. Without crits, I deal around like 13k or so, so losing 7 to 9k worth of damage does suck, but I can easily make up the damage with his charge shot or something like that. Overall, I'm sticking with this set, and what's crazy is my substats are just okay. My circuit was horrible with HP, defense, and recharge as substats, so he can do even more damage with better stats. Also, my Childe isn't maxed out yet, so he's only going to improve. But I highly recommend using this set for Childe, as the 4-piece Hydro set really excels his burst DPS role. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future Genshin Impact videos. I am working on a Hydro crit build for Jean. I'm waiting for the Black Sword on the Battle Pass. I just need to get that, max it out, and then we'll see how it goes. But so far, she can deal around 10k on crits with just her E skill, and on her burst, she does around like 22k or so. So pretty solid. I just need to make a more reliable crit rate. So look forward to that. As always, good luck on your summons. Till next time, everyone, have an awesome day.